right? NBA All Star Weekend is actually about to be here, and I don't know, man. I think I just lost some interest in it just from when I watched it when I was younger. It was slightly better. You know, you had those star players that went out there and played only one game, and they competed at the highest level, from the rising stars to even the current stars at the time. They did their thing out there on the court. And also, not only in the games, but you saw it in the 3-point contest, you saw it in the dunk contest. Everything was just better. Now, it's none of that, right? It's currently formats changing, everything's changing to a point where now the All Star weekend is becoming very unwatchable. And if we start with the contest that's taking place, like dunk contest and 3-point contest, it starts there, right? Dunk contest for the most part is not that good. If we look at dunk contests from the past, like starting in the 80s with Michael Jordan and Dominique Wilkins, and then it carried on into the 2000s with Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady. Back in the day, those guys I consider real athletes because they went out there and showcased talent and they dunked the ball pretty well. Now, you don't really see bright stars in the dunk contest. You know, you have people that had opportunities to be in a dunk contest, like Dwayne Wade and even LeBron, who looks like he could still be in a dunk contest, but we already know time and time again he declines that invitation. John Morant is one you could think of. Zion Williamson is one you could think of. It's just lack of stardom when it comes to All Star Weekend, and I feel like that's the aspect that everyone is missing. And in the dunk contest, we love to see LeBron do a 360 windmill or John Morant do something that we never see him do in games and warmups. Something that's very creative. The last great dunk contest was in 2016, really, with Aaron Gordon and Zach Levine, right? And that dunk contest was probably the best dunk contest of that decade or maybe of all time. We have not seen that. So dunk contest is one. 3-point contest is kind of fading away because you are missing those premier shooters. Back in the day, you did have Mark Price, Steve Kerr, Larry Bird, all those guys. Now Stephen Curry, he's not really doing anything this All Star weekend, and it's probably gonna be just a bunch of no names. I think Damian Lillard, he's taking part on a partially torn Achilles, so that shows you how bad the All Star game is tonight. I mean not tonight, but this weekend. But we're gonna see, man. I just really think that the NBA is going downhill when it comes to this, and it is no problem. It's a problem that's never gonna be solved. Now, if we talk about this current format with the All Star game, we got this US versus World format, and we're gonna have three teams in a 4-game round robin tournament, which means that only 4 games are gonna be played between the three teams, and then 10 starters, 14 reserves, and then they're not gonna consider any positions. So, how I feel about this format is trash, in my opinion, because of the simple fact that what we seen, like I said, what we seen back then was just a little better. Like, why we can't just have those stars just compete in one game and the score could be whatever. The one thing I do see in these recent All Star games is just lack of effort, defense. Just you got to be out there. I mean, you got to play to some level. You're not at a level where you would play in a regular NBA game if you're competing for a playoff spot or competing during the regular season. But a little effort matters because now at the end of the day, the NBA is a form of entertainment and you have to entertain in some form of fashion. So it's missing that entertainment aspect, right? Nobody want to watch a rec game. We got to watch some pros go at it. And back in the day when guys like Michael Jordan, when guys like Magic Johnson, when guys like John Stockton was playing, that's what they were doing. They had fun being out there on the court, playing with and against each other. And everybody was able to see that. And then they were able to become entertained by what they saw. Now, that's something that the regular NBA needs. And a lot of people argue that, okay, this generation is probably more talented. And I don't, I can argue against that only because, I mean, effort is the number one thing I don't see out of these people. Now, one thing I would want to talk about is if we're talking about changing format, I mean, it could be something. that the NBA probably saw that was best for them, because the NFL did the same thing. We had the regular football game format where they would all play with and against one another in one game in full pads. Now you look at it and you see that they're basically playing flag football and they're having field days, right? Now the NFL, I feel like they did a great job because that was just something that was safer for their players. Because imagine you just got done playing a full season of football, doing all that hitting, all the pads and all that stuff, right? And then you got to go around in January during the playoff time, during your off season, and play another fully padded football game. Yeah, okay. So that was terrible. So the NFL, them changing that was good. And then I feel like that was along with some of the other safety measures they was making, with the kickoff format and all that stuff. So in comparison to the NBA All-Star game, I just think the NFL just does a better job when it comes to marketing and when it comes to moving around. Because at the end of the day, these players are still playing against each other flag football. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. I know people miss the pass, but it's not that bad when you look at it from a safety perspective. And then also you have them bringing back the games where you get to see different skills competitions as well. Now, there are controversies where who they selected was probably not the best, but other than that, I mean, as far as the format, it's pretty good. But NBA, I think they got some work to do. I think they still trying to figure things out when it comes to the format. And when they do, I don't think it's gonna be as effective as it was back then. But that'll be the end of this podcast, man. I hope you all enjoy. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all later. Peace.